This episode is brought to you by Anivia Pickleball, your premier destination for high-quality pickleball paddles designed to elevate your game. At Anivia, they are committed to providing players across Canada with innovative, performance-driven pickleball paddles crafted for durability, precision, and ease of play. Irene and myself are currently using their Gen 3 Pro paddle, and if you head over to Anivia.com and enter the code AGorman15, you get 15% off your order. That's AGorman15 at Anivia.com. All right, on with the show. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Pickleball Diaries podcast. I am your host, Andrew Gorman, joined, of course, by Victor Chan, certified pickleball referee. I'm back from Nationals, and Vic is still battling a little bit of the flu, so he didn't get to ref at all last week. How are you feeling, Vic?
It's pretty bad. I'm still actually sick. I think I'm battling a new variant of influenza that does not exist in Edmonton, whatever. I'm still battling it. And anyway, I've been stuck at home for over almost a week and a half now, is what it is.
Yeesh, yeah. So let's get right into it. So review of Nationals in Winnipeg. So I had a lot of fun there. Long days of playing. I played 5 events. Irene played 5 events. Irene was also an alternate for Team Alberta in the team event. So we'll start off with, I guess, the city/facility kind of review of it. Winnipeg was having a ton of road construction going on in the city.
You're telling me that.
And especially a lot by the Taylor, it's not pickleball, the Taylor Tennis Center where the event was being held. So there was a lot of traffic. And I was funny because when we went to the dinner, and we'll go into that later, that was put on by Pickleball Manitoba. Apparently Winnipeg's also hosting Pan Am. They're hosting the Grey Cup. I'm like the year that you're hosting all of these massive events is when you're doing all this massive road construction right in the inner part of the city and stuff, right? Because I know where the parking that they had for the Pickleball Nationals right across the street, they had the archery for the Pan Am Games going on.
Oh,
but all right, so starting off, obviously there was no parking available, so they had us use an RBC parking lot that was about a kilometer and a half away-ish from the facility, and then they would have buses shuttle people over. No issue with that.
School buses, right?
Yeah, school buses, yeah. So, yeah. But no issue with that. The buses were on time. The drivers were awesome. The parking was easy to get into and stuff and get out of. So no issue with the shuttle service. I thought that was well done. Because once you got there and you saw the parking that would have been available, even if that parking was available for people to park, it was like 15 cars max.
Ouch.
It's not a facility meant for lots of people. Speaking of which, it is a tennis facility. And I heard multiple things about that the AC broke about a month ago, and they were waiting for parts, so the AC wasn't working, or it just wasn't meant to hold. It clearly wasn't meant to hold that many people to begin with. But day 1 to 3 especially, it was insanely hot in there, and I'm talking like I would play a match and I would walk off the court, and it looked like I was coming out of a shower with my clothes on. Like my hat was like water pellets dripping off the brim. My shirt was drenched. And it was bad. And the first day especially, it was really bad. Irene and Anya went to the finals in the women's round robin 4.0 and plus. Their semi-finals match against Tracy Bennett and Pam Clark took over an hour to play. And so just playtime, because I went back because I managed to record the footage for that, just playtime, not counting timeouts and not counting court changes, was 58 minutes.
Oh, man.
So it was an insanely long match to begin with, and this was a 1 game to 15.
Ouch.
Right? So they played for almost a full hour. They started on court 16 and they finished on court 10 because the tape kept on peeling because of the humidity in there. And especially day one as well, the courts in the afternoon got super slippery. It was like they didn't wipe off the you know how there's like residue from like tennis balls and stuff like that fur stuff. Once the floor got humid and that stuff was on the floor, certain courts felt like they were skating rinks on certain sides of it. Like there was so many times where I thought someone was going to pull a groin. Like I almost put my men started at 8 a.m. So like the courts actually, that aside from it being stupidly hot in there, the courts were actually fine. Like I didn't have an issue with like tape peeling up, no slipping and sliding. But as soon as like 11:30, 12 o'clock hit, and the temperature went up insanely in there, it was just a gong show. Like it was funny because I went back to the hotel, had a quick shower, came back with the kids, and I like sweated through my shirt just watching Irene and Anya play. So not great playing conditions. So we'll start with the heat for the whole week. We'll go with that first, and then I'll get into like the some of the other issues that I had with the courts. And
then I'll talk into my impression and everything. I kind of knew already. Like it's gonna happen. We'll talk about it when you finish up.
Yeah, exactly right. So day one was like gross. I heard from some people that some people were having what is it, carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide poisoning almost, because there wasn't enough airflow in there and so many people sweating and stuff, because you know how you exhale, was it carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide? Dioxide. Yeah, so it would have been like almost carbon
monoxide will be like from the car or something like that.
Okay, yeah, so carbon dioxide poisoning. Basically, people couldn't get enough oxygen into their bodies because there wasn't.
They have to bring an oxygen tank into the facility.
Almost like, and that was more so older players were having that issues. Like I never got to the point where I was like short of breath. But like it felt like I was playing in a sauna. Like I think I dropped almost 10 pounds. Wow. Just that last week. Because like I looked at myself in the mirror after like our last day and I was like, wow, like I like trimmed down in my stomach, which is a good thing because I've been trying to do that all year. But no, insanely hot day one. Day two, not as bad, but still insanely hot. And what they did on day two, from day two forward, because they had big industrial fans in there, but originally they were just blowing air in. What they did then is they have doors on each side of the facility, because you'd walk in, there's a central part of the facility where there's like offices, and then you can go upstairs to like a viewing area, and then on either side is where the courts are. And on the end of each of those courts, there's like, you know, doors for like deliveries or whatever, right? So they opened up those doors and they stuck the big industrial fans, but they had them facing out to suck the hot air out. And it did do a better job, especially with the tape issue. Like the first day was horrible for tape. The second day was more so and this is a big shout out to all the volunteers who were on tape duty. Holy crap, did those people like need like a raise or a gift basket or something? Like they were on the ball, like replacing the tape insanely fast and doing that. I know, and like we can complain about the tape thing as like an organizational problem, but the volunteers who were doing that tape replacement deserve a massive shout out because they were on the ball. Awesome, like replacing tape as quickly as they could. So big shout out to the volunteers who did that.
Yeah, good for them. Thank you.
Yeah, so like the tape replacement more so at that point was, you know, enough wear and tear on it, the tape eventually starts to rip. Right. So it was more so just replacing that. But what they would do is after every match, they would run over, fix the spot. Like they had little roller wheels and stuff that they were making sure the tape would go down, and especially if it was going to be like a metal match, because the ref didn't want to have to stop it for a tape issue like they had to do on day one.
Yeah.
Right. And the other issue with day one on an organizational standpoint, I don't know who was running the pickleball brackets thing, but it had gotten so bad because like we played our first two matches and then all of a sudden there was this massive delay, like almost like an hour and a half, 2 hour delay, because something in the system wasn't working properly. Now there was also the Air Canada strike and people were missing flights and couldn't get in, which was causing withdrawals and stuff like that. And especially because it's round robin, and we had this discussion about that at the Red.
Well,
when we
were
talking about the Red Deer.
You have that problem. If you have people that didn't show up in there now.
Well, and they were phoning. Like the organizer, I remember hearing some of the organizers saying they were having an insane amount of phone calls, insane amount of emails, and there were some people who were there, but their partner couldn't make it. So they were saying, well, I know a local guy from Winnipeg and he is willing to come play. Can we just sub him in? Right. And because they were trying to, keep everything rolling. Right.
Yeah,
but the problem is you still have to go in and edit the person out. Right.
Well, I think that's the problem because now they have to adjust the whole bracket, or people that show up, they have to withdraw them from the round robin. So that's the problem when you're running round robin. If you don't have enough people showing up, it messes the whole thing up.
Exactly right. And so, but it got so bad that, and this is going to be a big shout out for this gentleman, Ryan, I want to say Haynes from Ontario. Haynes or Hayes. Ryan, I apologize if I get your name wrong. He actually plays like senior open. But he is well known in Ontario for like organizing tournaments and organizing events. He actually dropped out of his men's doubles to go fix the issue on the computers.
Good for him.
That's how much of a gong show it had turned into on like the operational system.
Yeah, that shout out to him too.
Yeah, so shout out to him. He also played. Yeah, he also played on Team Ontario and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure at the Nationals in Regina, Vic, he won the Senior Open with Steve Deacon.
I don't remember that name.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he played with Steve Deacon on the Senior Open, because Steve, I know, played with Brad Chapman on the regular Open because those were on different days.
Okay,
right?
Yeah,
but
that's probably a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it was. It would have been 2023, right? So, but I'm pretty sure he played with Steve Deacon in like the Senior Open or whatever. Like, so he's a really good player aside from apparently running tournaments insanely well and fixing this issue with the Nationals, right? So yeah, so he fixed that day one, and then after that, everything seemed like, as far as operational and games wise standpoint, flowed nice and smooth.
Gotcha.
Right. The heat was still an issue up until about, I want to say, Friday. Now it's still warm, but
I think you have some rain.
Well, yeah, we did. We had. I think we had a good thunder shower on, I want to say, the Wednesday night or something like that. No, the Thursday night. Sorry, the Thursday night there was a good thunder shower, which kind of cooled the air down, and then it was a little bit windy outside too, so you had the wind kind of helping the fans and stuff. Oh, but basically it was still warm. Like a lot of times after our match, I would go walk outside and be like standing in the wind, trying to cool myself off. I've never been that sweaty before, to the point where like the towels that they provide us, I was using that to wipe off my paddle handle. I've never had to wipe off my paddle handle or like blow on my hands because my palms are so sweaty. And it was funny, in our very last game that me and Irene played on Sunday, I went to reach for a ball and swing for it. My paddle actually slipped out of my hands.
Oh no.
And fell into the net into the kitchen because of how sweaty my hands were.
Oh yeah.
Right. And like I've never had that happen. And I had brand new like Lizard overgrip on my paddle, which is like, for any of you who have used Lizard grip before, that's like super grippy and super like you shouldn't be that shouldn't be slipping out of my hand. But that's how, like, I put extra like sweatbands on both my wrists just because I was doing this with my hand, and then I was walking over and twisting the towel on my paddle. But that's how warm it was.
That was terrible
in there, right? So yeah, the heat was an issue. And because it's a tennis facility, it's not meant to have that many people in it.
Yeah,
it was the big thing, right?
Kind of new.
Yeah, like for those of you who went to Halifax last year, like pretty much that same issue. I didn't go to Halifax last year, so I wasn't sure. Like now the same thing, after they gave the floor a wipe, because we were talking about that that residue or whatever. Yeah, so they gave the floor a really good wipe on the Tuesday night and the Wednesday morning after day one. So the slippery floor wasn't really an issue after that. But apparently they said because of the heat, it took like 5 years off the floor or something like that. The ball I didn't have any issues with the ball bounces or anything like that. Like if it hit the tape, it's no different than hitting the paint. It skids out. Like that's just pickleball. The ball bounces were fine. Spacing on the courts wasn't great.
Spacing doesn't look good at all.
It was really narrow. Like ATPs were hard, and then if you had a referee who used a chair, don't even think about it on that side. Because like we played one match against this one team, and I hit 2 ATPs, and I'm talking like narrow ATPs. Like
nice.
There's like the from the baseline let's say the end of the net. So from the end of the net to like the little like portable divider walls that they had, maybe the length of from my bicep to my hand.
Ouch.
At best, like not even 3 feet. Right. From the sideline to the wall, we're maybe looking at 4 feet. Right. So not a lot of space. Right. So I hit a couple, but then when we switched sides,
Oh,
And
now
then
you
I'm
have
on
to
the same
share.
and if I'm on the same side with the ref is in a chair. I'm like, okay, well that shot's gone now, so that screws up my game. Right
Yeah,
now, I gotta
exactly.
do a hard cut or I gotta throw a lob in. I don't want to go right over directly to the other person because they might hit an ernie at me, right? So the narrowness of the courts was an issue, and I don't know how many people ran through those barriers because of how narrow the courts were. And then you have just portable barriers. You run into that thing's tipping over,
Oh, for sure.
right? I know I ran into it about 5 times playing singles, and I'm talking about like knocking them over, like
Oh, they're easy to knock over for
yeah,
sure. Like,
like but I like knocking them over, almost wiping out. I saw a bunch of older players do it in like the men's like 65 plus. It had an effect on Irene and Anya when they were playing their double elimination because when they were playing in the semis, they were winning the second set. I want to say it was 10-5. And then a shot happened and Anya ended up running into one of those walls. And the way she stepped into it, it like hit her shin in a weird way and hurt her leg. So they still managed to win that second set. But then come the third set, you could see she had a bit of a limp. And so the other team saw that and then just lobs and hard cross stinks on her when on the leg she's got to try and push off on, right? So the narrowness of the courts was an issue. And when courts are narrow and you also have portable divider walls, you're asking for trouble. Like if you're going to have narrow courts, have a solid fence there because at least like, okay, you run into the fence, you stop yourself on it, kind of like what we see at like EPC or at Calgary or at the Calgary Pickleball Center, right? Like, yes, their courts are narrow, but at least they're permanent dividers. So that way I'm not going to trip over it, wipe out on it, whatever, right? So, and then depending on what side on the ends, if your end was against the wall, like both of them weren't very wide. I'm going to say maybe it was 6 feet from baseline to the end, but because of the way the facility is built, it's almost like
it's
sort
like
of
a dome. It's almost like a dome.
not quite a dome,
Dome-ish.
but it is angled
Like
on
a
the back.
triangle, man. Almost like a
Yeah,
triangle.
almost like a triangle, right? So but then it also would have like this kind of pillar type piece that would come down.
There you go.
And a lot of times, depending on how it lined up with the pickleball court, you lost
It might be
another.
lower. Yeah, you might be
Well, no,
lower
not
than,
lower. It was you couldn't back up. So if someone had a hard serve, you couldn't
uh,
back up any further, or your paddle was hitting it, right? Like you couldn't line yourself up
there you go.
properly.
There you go. I knew about it. I knew about it. So
Yeah.
those are my rant about national hosting in tennis facility. I'm sorry. You knew those problems from last year already from Winnipeg, right? You knew there was a humidity issue. You knew about the tape issue. You know about size like size issue. You knew about a tennis facility are not meant to host 600 or just 400 people in there, because think about it. This facility had only 10 tennis court, right? Now you just multiply 30 courts, pickleball courts in there. 10 tennis court means maximum 40 people. Okay, I give maybe a coach and everything 50 max 50 person that's in a tennis court. Now you have 30 people.
120 if every court is full and you're playing doubles.
Exactly, 120 people plus ref, plus also all the other people. So minimum you have about 200 people in this facility. What do you think that facility gonna be able to hold? No, definitely they're not gonna be able to hold up to the climate. There's zero chance that facility be able to hold up to this climate, right? Now you're talking about the court surface. Like, come on, this is not their first time. That's the second year you host it in a tennis facility. Why don't you wipe the court? You should have known that you should wipe the court.
There should have been some type of relay of information from the organizers of the previous event to the new event saying, hey, this is the issues we run to. This is how we combated it to make it work better.
Right? Come on.
Yeah, the fact that it happened day one, it was just, and day one I was like, okay, this shouldn't be happening right now. So
and then tape, come on, like you knew you had that issue in Halifax. Like, this is the second time you're hosting in a tennis facility and you're having the same issue. That's shame on your on organization. Like the Pickleball Canada organization. I'm sorry, you did not do your job. You should be fired, big time.
Yeah, right. So yeah, and that's the issue now. So and like I talked to a bunch of people, and they said, you know what, if it's going to be in a tennis facility next year, I'm not going.
Well, it's not
Right.
even
So
like a tennis facility are not meant to host a pickleball tournament.
no,
You,
it's not
like you,
right.
you,
Well,
you know
yeah,
you know already from last year at Halifax. Like there is so many, like especially Pickleball Canada. You should be advocating for facility that has proper pickleball court facility to host the national, and you should be giving the pickleball player the proper surface and proper playing environment. You're not. You're definitely not doing this right now. You're basically just say, oh, I just want a facility that that can dump that much court in there, and then I can run as much as possible. People is looking more and more as like a money grab than anything else.
yeah, exactly right. So yeah, so that's my big. So then my other big gripe with I guess the facility itself was because of the humidity thing, they implemented a rule starting day two is that in between the courts, so like the alleyway between the courts, no one was allowed to be in there unless you were like a player going to a court or a referee going to court or like one of the volunteer staff going to do tape. So you couldn't watch the games. They said, "Oh yeah, you can." There was bleachers in the on the one side. There was bleachers on the end because the end piece was a little bit more wider. They had the bleacher section, and then they had what they called the fan zone, which was that viewing section that I had mentioned earlier. Um, that was garbage for watching.
Oh, for sure.
Um,
You can only watch two courts, basically the closest
yeah.
court, and that's it.
So the problem was is so like me and Irene brought the kids because normally the kids are sitting on the sideline watching, and sometimes a lot of times Kim is helping like with recording the matches because we want to look at the matches and see, what can we fix, what can we do, and stuff like that. So they were regulated to that fan zone room. And now I'm gonna post up on the side here, everyone. I'm gonna post pictures of the two views for either side. I'll send these to Vic after of what I had to look at when I was watching Irene and Anya play on the second last day when they were playing their women's doubles. And this is playing in a bronze. One was the semifinals and one was the bronze match of what my view got to be for that. So not only could I not, because normally me and Irene coach each other during timeouts when we're playing, like when I'm playing men's singles or men's doubles and she's playing women's singles or women's doubles. When one of us calls timeout, then we come over because we're on the sideline saying, okay, what are you seeing? What can you work on? Couldn't do any of that. Like I was able to do it for the first day for her when they were playing when they played in the round robin because they hadn't implemented that rule yet, and that's actually one of the only ones where I have a bunch of recordings of.
Oh man.
Right. But then after that, weren't allowed to be there. Right. So I couldn't help her with her singles. I couldn't help her with her other women's doubles. She couldn't help me with my singles, couldn't help me with any of my men's doubles. Right. So that was an issue. And I'm not saying that's why we lost or anything like that, but it's something that we're used to. And then what I felt bad for, I was like, oh, why did I bring my kids? They can't watch anything. It was not what I would call spectator friendly.
Oh, definitely for fan experience is garbage.
Garbage fan experience, basically. And same thing, like if you were a Winnipeg local and you saw, oh, there's the pickleball nationals going on, I'm gonna go, poke my head in and watch. Yeah, good luck. Unless you knew someone on those first two courts where those bleachers were, or if you were up in the fan room, and the fan room was warm as well because the entire facility was hot.
Like and you said, the facility, the AC broke on top of that, so it didn't help.
Well,
either.
that was the rumor going around was either the AC broke the month before nationals and they were waiting on parts.
But even so,
you knew that a month ahead. You knew that a month ahead of time. You should have looked for possible alternate issues or alternate things.
And on top of that, even so, that facility are not meant to have 200 people.
I was gonna say even with because like I said, the only day where I didn't feel like insanely warm the entire time, and I still had to go outside after matches though, was the very last day. Yeah. And that was we had a couple rainstorms at night. It was really windy outside in Winnipeg, so it was pushing air around and stuff a little bit better. But no, yeah. So all right, so let's get into I'll do a quick recap of all of me and Irene's events before we get into the team thing, because the fan viewing experience also plays into the whole team thing. Mm-hmm. So day one, I already went into this a little bit. So it was men's and women's round robin events.
Yep.
So I played with a person I'd never played before, Jaden. So shout out to Jaden. It was his first me and his first time playing. He's from Winnipeg. He is a 4-0 player, so this was his first time playing up into 4-5 categories against like this super high level competition. Our day one in the round robin, we went 2-2 and just missed out on making it to the crossovers due to tie break points and stuff like that. So, but our first game we lost to it was still good. Our first game we lost, I think, to the eventual bronze medal team. Our second game we probably should have won. We were actually up, I want to say, like 7-2. And then we switched sides, and then the other team started picking on him just a little bit more, and I wasn't able to quite help. And we were still kind of, especially for stuff in the middle, not at that point where we were like, yours,
it's
mine.
First time, it's a little difficult sometimes.
When he said to me, he goes, "Well, you're the better player." He goes, "Do you want more of the court?" And I was like, "No." I said, if it's up there and your forehand is there, go ahead and take it." Like, so I tried to take as much pressure off as possible. I said, "No, just play your game." I said, I'm very adaptable and I will adjust. And I said, and I talk a lot. And Vic knows this from playing with me. I'm like, you, me, go ahead, keep going, like, and stuff like that, right? So I felt we really started gelling in our final two games where we won very, very handily. So we went 2-2, just missed the crossover. So, but we were like looking forward to the Friday where we were going to play our the double elimination one, right? Because we're like, no, we gelled really well. I think we should be okay. Like we should at least make a decent run.
Yeah.
Right. Irene and Anya, we had already kind of mentioned this, got all the way to the gold medal match in that 4.0 and up 40 and over division. They, like I said, they had that hour-long game versus Tracy Bennett and Pan Clark in the semis. Yeah. And then they got into the finals, and they basically kind of ran out of gas. Well, and here was the thing. Because of the crappy time management, that championship game finished at 10:45 at night.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, "Holy crap! It's taking forever."
The only division that went longer was, I think it was a men's 65 and over 4.0 and up as well, and they literally finished about 5 minutes after Irene and Anya, so they were like the final medalists coming out to get their medals. But yeah, shout out to Irene and Anya getting silver against those really, really strong teams.
Yeah, good for them. But that's poor management. They never should finish at 10 o'clock.
No, right? So, but well, especially because I think Irene and Anya started, I want to say, at like 2 or 3-ish.
Yeah, even
so. Like, there's no way that should take almost 8 hours, right?
Max 7 to 8 max.
Yeah, exactly, right? So still locked up the silver. So podium finish. Day 2 was the mixed round robin. So me and Irene were playing in the 4.0, 30 and above. We finished second in our pool. We went 2-1. We really should have went 3-0. But just couldn't lock. We got stuck getting tunnel vision a couple of times against the team we were playing against and played their game. And then we went to the crossovers, beat the first place team because there was 3 pools in this division. We beat the first place team from one of the other divisions. The first place team from our pool and then the first place team from the other pool got buys to the semis.
I see.
And then the other first place team ended up playing us. So we beat them. Ended up playing the team once again that was first place in our pool again. Whereas winner went to the gold medal match, loser went to the bronze. And it was the same thing. It was like we would go on a roll, and then all of a sudden we'd get away from what we were doing that was working and lost a same thing, a really, really tight game. So then we go to the bronze medal match where we run into Sean Sonigo and his partner. And we were a little bit out of gas, and then same thing. Sean and his partner did an insanely good job of completely isolating me out. And really picking on Irene, and we didn't adapt enough in the 2 sets. I think we lost 11-1 and 11-0. Like we got pickled the second game, and there was still good. There were still good rallies in those games. We just couldn't score when it was our turn to serve, right? So, and Sean's like a masterful dinker for any of those who haven't played against Sean.
He's very good dinking. So that's why I don't allow him to dink.
Yeah, right. And that was the problem. Like I would hold my own pretty decently against him in a dink, but because me and Irene are switching and not stacking, when Irene was on the left and then he's dinking cross with Irene, then Irene would try to go head on with the other female. And the other female there was really good. I think she medaled a couple of times in like women's like 4.5 and up divisions, right? So
nice.
2 very, very good players we're playing against, and because I couldn't come over and help her enough,
Yeah, then
They basically
she
kind of
felt
wore her
the
down.
pressure.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even that it was pressure. It was just like because you're getting so many touches,
Yeah.
it tires you out quicker, right? Like,
Yeah, definitely.
right. So like she like and so basically, yeah, we just couldn't get anything going. So we ended up losing the bronze game. So we finished fourth, still really good because the first place team was the Cow. Yeah, first place team was the Kawamoto's team. So like we made the joke right off the bat. It's like everyone's playing for silver.
Yeah.
Right, because it was Jessica and Matt, and then I guess I would say Sean's team would have been the next team, but because of how the pools finished, they ran into the Kawamotos in the semis, so that's why they were down in the bronze. Because the team that we lost to that played the Kawamotos in the semis, I think Sean's team would have beaten them.
Gotcha.
Type of thing, right? So just kind of how the bracket turned out after the pool play was over.
I see.
But still really happy with like how we played for that. Like in fourth place amongst those really good teams, is still a really good result. Day 3 was the junior events, the team events, and then of course my men's singles. Because there was so many men's singles and women's doubles, they moved all 3-5 and down events over to day 3. Now the problem with that is that got lost in the shuffle for at least when people are, because if you notice, if you were following online on social media and stuff, they're posting the medal winners and stuff and giving them big shout outs and stuff on all social media. Well, because the team event was such a big thing, a lot of the men's single stuff and the junior stuff kind of got lost to the wayside, right?
Yeah.
At least for that one. And I didn't really care about that. I had pictures of me on the podium and I posted them and stuff like that. But yeah, so I managed to get to the finals in 3.5 singles, 35 and over, managed to win gold.
You managed to sandbag yourself to for a free.
That's not sandbagging, man. That's only my second gold medal in my entire career playing pickleball. I know.
I'm just teasing.
Like, but no. If I'm gonna say here, the only other time I've won gold in singles was Western Regionals 2022 when me and Irene triple crowned everything in 3.0.
Yeah, I remember that I was there.
Yeah. Right. But but ever since then, like when I moved up, because after that I was like, yeah, I'm going to move up to 3-5. I've been like a 2 and out or like a 3 games, lose in the quarters and then lose on the B side. Don't get to the bronze match. Like I haven't medaled since then. So this is the first time medaling in singles.
Oh, congrats, buddy.
Since then. But,
that's a big win. That's a big win.
I made it hard on myself because almost every match I played in going into the gold medal game was a 3-setter every time. Now, the cool thing with singles for the nationals, which I really,
right?
Yeah, it was rally scoring, which I really liked, actually. It made that. Now, there were still a lot of matches that ended up looking like a 21-19 because you were rally scoring to 15. And the funny thing, actually, with our division, they didn't tell the refs that, so we were doing rally scoring to 11. It was still 2 out of 3 on the A side.
Oh.
And then they fixed it, but it was already after my division was done. And so if you actually look on my final game score, it'll say 15-12, 15-11 or something like that, even though the actual game was like 11-9, 11-7. But someone didn't tell the refs that because they came out and they said, it's a rally scoring to 11. I'm like, isn't it supposed to be 15?
Yeah,
and 11 because I asked all the refs that because there was like three games about to start all at the same time. I was like, I thought it was best 2 out of 3 game rally scoring to 15, win by 2, no cap. Like, no, they told us 11. I'm like, okay, cool, because it does in my head it doesn't really change anything because once that one player gets to that point, like the match point, they got to win on their serve regardless, right?
Win
right, So for me, it really didn't change anything mentally. It was still 2 out of 3. It wasn't 1 game to 15, or it wasn't 1 game to whatever, right? Now they did fix that for the singles when the rest of the singles for the rest of the tournament. It was that first day where they just didn't communicate. Same thing, organizers didn't communicate that properly to the refs.
Yeah, that's odd.
But to me, like I said, for me, it was still 2 out of 3. It was still rally scoring, so it still worked out really well. But yeah, first game went 3 sets. Second game, I think the second game I won in straight sets. I played Scott from Medicine Hat. And big shout out to Scott. I ran into him a couple times because he was Chris Jones's partner in men's doubles, and we played them in on the round robin day, and then they were also our first matchup in the men's double elimination on the Friday as well. But no, that was a good game. And then when I got to the semis, that was an insanely good match. The guy I was playing, his name was Mike. I can't remember his last name, but made me run like crazy. Like that was the game where it felt like I was doing suicides from sideline to sideline for how much, because he had a lot of spin with some of his drives. And that was also where I ran into the barrier about 4 or 5 times as well. But there
especially
was
singles.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because singles you're not stopping because there's no one else to get the ball for you, right? So, but yeah, like I scraped the crap out of my right knee on that one, and this was I didn't even crash into the board. It was just I had stretched out so much for this ball that my knee actually scraped along the floor, and I managed to get the ball back. But there was a sequence there, and I wish I could have gotten this on camera, but I think I touched each end line 4 times in this one rally sequence, and this was when I was up. I think I was up 9-6, and he was trying to make a push here. And there was about 3 shots. I think if anyone watching, the final 3 shots, it looked like I was toast. There's no way he's getting this type of thing. So ran to my left, switched to my left hand, did a decent power shot, got it back over. He puts it to my run back over, switched back to my right hand, power shot, put it back over. And then the final one, I do like a backhand kind of slice chop, just barely gets over the net. So then he's got to wait for it, puts it up, and then I managed to run in and like power it with a passing drive. And the look on his face just kind of went with one of those like depressed looks. and in my head I was like, okay, I've broken him. So, and then I proceeded to win that, got to the finals where I was the twice to beat. And then he was the one who came back up from the bronze medal match. And I'm like, okay, well, I've already broken him. I'm just going to play my game now, pick my precision shots. And for people who've played against me, you know that I don't have an insanely powerful drive, but I can place my shots really, really well. And that's basically what I did. I was painting lines, and I won in straight sets in the gold medal match. But it was just but oh my God, my quads are still sore today. And this is like, because that would have been played on Thursday.
That's almost a week ago.
Yeah, almost a week ago, and my quads are still sore from that singles event. But it was fun, and and in my head I was like, "Okay, I'm coming home with something." I'm like, and when I was in the semis, because once I got to the semis, okay, I'm guaranteed a medal now. I'm playing with house money. I'm not coming home empty-handed. I don't just want to be Irene's driver, because Irene's already got a silver medal at this point, right? So in my head, I'm like, I don't just want to be Irene's driver. I want to have some hardware for myself, and so I got the gold out of that. So I was super stoked about that. Nice. Seeing how we're on the day, we'll talk. We'll do all me and Irene's first, and we'll come back to the team event after, because we're gonna spend a bit of time on that.
Sure.
So day 4, men's doubles bracket, women's singles. This was the double elimination. So me and Jaden, like I said, played really well. Won our first match. And against Chris Jones and Scott from Medicine Hat. And then we get to the quarterfinals, and we run into John Hoffman and Chris Hartman from Edmonton. And so we win the first set. I want to say it was like 11-9. And then we are up 11-10 in the second. And I get this really good setup where I get John to pop it up. And I jump to slam it, and it literally nips the top of my paddle. Then goes out, so it's out on me. So they side out, and then they end up winning 13-11. And then kudos to John and Chris, because this was an amazing game, regardless of how it ended up turning out for me and Jaden. But this was an awesome rallies, awesome shots. But John, I'm gonna give a lot of credit to John when he called his timeouts, and the coaching and the strategy he worked with Chris. Throughout this game, because I could see him talking, and like you could see him like with his hands discussing on where to put the ball. So come the third set, they picked on Jaden a lot more because of the hand, because I was winning most of the hand battles if they got into hand battles with me, and then same thing with dinking and stuff. I was winning most of that, so they focused on Jaden a little bit more, and I think they ended up winning 11-7 or 11-8 or something like that in that third one. And so they go on to the semis, and we drop down to the B side, right? But insanely good match. And then super shout out to John and Chris, because then I think they ended up getting a bronze in that division.
Yes,
and
it
was so but shout out to them. That was an awesome match. I would love to play that match again, just because we had so many good rallies in that game. But that was where you could see Jaden, but you could see the difference between like John, who's basically a 5-0, me, who's like a 4-7, almost a 4-8, and then Chris, who's like a 4 5+. I can't remember what Chris's
Yeah.
actual duper is anymore, but I know he's 4 or 5+.
And it's different, right? Chris is a very good defender, and he knows his role. Chris Hartman, obviously, if people are wondering, he plays in my group all the time. He's a very good defender. He gets a lot of ball. He's one we call a digger. He's got like even as a pop up, he's gonna be able to at least put 1 to 2 ball back in play just to force an error to the other opponent. And you have John Hoffman. He's more like we call a counter puncher. So like you do not want to speed up at him because he's always back and ready to speed for speed up. So it's kind of a
it's a good defensive wall almost.
Exactly. They're just waiting for you to make a mistake or anything.
Yeah. So I really they did a really smart strategy in that third game, where they were picking on where you could see where Jaden's inexperience at that level was coming into play, because there was a lot, because Jaden had an insanely good drive. Like, it's not as powerful as yours, Vic, but it would clear the net like literally by like 2 fingers every time. So nice. I probably had more shake and bakes playing with Jaden than I've had in a tournament ever. And that's nice. me coming from the right, me coming from left. It didn't matter. Like, I think it just in the game against John and Chris, I think I had 4 or 5 shake makes. And John even came up after me. He goes, for guys who hadn't played together, you sure gelled really quick with all those shake and bakes type of thing, right? So so we lost that one. And then on the B side, the game just before going into the bronze, we ended up running into the team that ended up winning silver, which was Mark, I forget your last name, but he's the husband to Stephanie Kawamoto. If for those of you who are wondering Mark's playstyle, think of me, but probably like 5.0, 5.0, 5.1 level, like a little bit, like, but very similar playstyle to how I play, like very good resets, very good counter punching. And so, but same thing, really good match. I think we lost 15-10. And we were at like 9-9 for a good spell there as well. But fell just short of getting into the bronze game. But like I said to Jaden after, I said I came into this with no expectations because we hadn't played together. You were obviously moving up from 4-0 to 4-5, and so the fact that we got as far as we did and played as well as we did, I was really happy with.
Nice.
So
no, that's a good result, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then for women's singles, Irene didn't have the best tournament. She probably should have won. She was 2-0, so she lost her first game in 3 games, or her first match in 3 games.
Is she still using her O paddle or the Fusion for a single?
She wasn't. No, she hadn't practiced with it enough, so she wasn't comfortable using it.
Yeah,
I think she should have though.
She should, and that's the problem, right? Because especially you're using a Franklin ball, especially in a hot, humid environment, that ball gets mushy, right? So therefore, if you're using a overpowered paddle, which is like the Nivea Fusion, is it FC Fusion? Does that call?
Yeah, FC, yes, yeah, because it's Casey for Kevlar and carbon, yeah.
Casey Fusion that has tremendous amount of pop and everything. Then it'll help you to create that power shot and to dig some of the ball that's very low, because now since the ball is getting mushy and everything, the ball bounce is much lower than usual, right? So that super poppy paddle, like everyone that uses a super poppy paddle in this environment and has an insane amount of drive will definitely benefit from this environment. I knew this by a fact, because when I played at the U.S. Open in Naples, Florida, it was like 35 plus degrees, and they're using that Franklin ball that was almost like melting on on the court.
Yeah.
And at that time, I was still like 4-0 playing in sandbagging in the 3-0 division. So which means I'm driving every ball that was coming to me possible, and it was perfect because it's the drive might be not as fast because then they can counter back, but it means also their counter is not as fast anymore, so I can keep driving at them. So
yeah, exactly. And I did notice that with a couple players, especially when we were playing mix on our last day, there was a couple guys who I'd met in the men's who were driving, and I had no problem blocking. But I found on the final day, their drives were staying a lot lower, and they were able to have a little bit more power with them and stuff as well. But yeah, so
Yeah.
like for Irene's, like her first match went to three games, um, and she lost. Like they were all close games, but just not really playing her style. Same thing in her second one. She lost 21-18 on the B side.
Yeah, still tough.
Just not find her usual game. But she came to me after and she goes, you know what? We didn't practice singles enough leading up to this. So she goes like, I'm upset. She goes, I'm more upset with the fact that I didn't prepare enough. Type of thing, right? Because like, and like, because when people ask me, it's like, oh, how, like, who do you practice with singles? I'm like, literally, me and Irene practice singles, but it's like we didn't get to drill. We didn't get to the amount of drilling this year that we did in previous years. So like I said to her, I said, this is our results at this nationals are way more depicted of how much we've had time to drill, like whether it was work or whether it was stuff with the kids or just whatever. This year I found we didn't get as many kind of just one-on-one drilling sessions. And a lot of times when we do a drilling session, we finish off with like a couple rounds of singles, right? And I found we didn't do that as much this year. And like same thing, I didn't go to as many tournaments this year. Like I went to one and played mixed with her leading up to this nationals because like you played with her for one, she played with someone else for another one. Like so, it just it kind of showed in the end, right? And then women's double elimination bracket on day 5. This was the one I was talking about where Anya injured her leg in the second game of the semi. So Irene and Anya, now they weren't making it easy on themselves. Now bear in mind, this is a really good division of really, really good players. Yeah. Like all the teams in this division were like really, really good. But every time Anya and Irene went up 1-0 and then went to a third game. Almost every event or every match they played in. So they got to the
that's not easy.
No, right? And especially this is like second last day. You've already played a crap ton.
Oh, you're
right.
Tired.
Like Anya played singles not just the day before, but then she also played singles in the team event for Team Alberta. Right. So it was just
Anya got bronze and silver, right?
She podiumed in everything she played in. I think it's
that's great.
Yeah, no, everything she played.
She did in mix too with Keaton.
Yeah. So shout out to Annie because Annie had a really good nationals. But yeah, so they were in the semis. It was the second set, and they were up 10-8 or 10-9, and like that was when I was saying like Annie hurt her leg. They won that game, but then in the third game, sorry, they that's when the other team really started focusing on Anya and then ended up winning it in 3. They go to the bronze game, and for some reason this bronze game they did a 2 out of 3 instead of a single game to 15.
Yeah, that was so weird. I saw a lot of 2 out of 3 instead of 1 to 15.
Well, that was the only day they did that.
So it must be a problem with
that's an organization problem again because for double elimination that shouldn't be a 2 out of 3. That should be a 1 game to 15.
It never should be unless it's like a round robin, right?
Yeah, round robin makes sense because now
but even so, it should be always 1 to 15, not best 2 out of 3.
Yeah, right. So
anyway,
but yeah, because when I looked at every other bracket, it was 1 game to 15 for almost everything else. Like I know for men's doubles, that's what it was. For the bronze medal game, it was 1 game to 15.
Yeah, so someone pressed the wrong button in the selection. That's what happened.
So they lost the first game 12-10, and then same thing, like the leg and the fatigue got to them in the second one. I think they lost 11.
Did Anya took a medical timeout?
I don't think so.
Yeah, they should have.
No, they should. They should have.
Yeah, and that is tough because you're not allowed to be there. That's the other thing.
That was the thing. I wasn't. Yeah, I'm stuck up in the freaking fan zone.
If you're there, you probably recommend like take a medical timeout or something like that.
Yeah, right? Exactly right. But and the other problem I had. Well, actually, we'll get to this after because we got one more. Well, so day 6 mixed bracket. So me and Irene playing the 4.5, 35 and above. We lost our first game, and we shouldn't have lost. We're still annoyed with this, but we played the other team's game. The one guy had a really good drive. He was and both him and the girl were bangers. And we just didn't do a good enough job of keeping the girl back and keeping the other guy on his backhand because his lateral movement wasn't super great. But he had a cannon for his drive and it was low. So like, it's not like you could just move and it was going out. It was, he put a crap ton of top side spin on, so it was coming over that net and dipping.
Nice.
But I had played him twice in men's and beaten him and his male partner with Jaden both times. But so I said, like I told Irene, I said, okay, I said if we can get our returns either deep to his backhand or to the girl, because he's going to come over and take like 70 to 80% of the court, and then he's going to just bomb it. And I said, and they're in, so we have to block it, right? So yeah, we lost straight sets. I want to say it was like 11-7, 11-6, something like that. We went down to the B side, and now it's okay. Now you have to work for it because it's the very first loss, and now you're on the B side. So now it's like you got to win 3 or 4 just to get to the bronze. And we end up running into Stephanie Kawamoto and her husband Mark in the game just before the bronze medal game.
Too bad.
And like I said, this was probably one of my favorite mixed matches that we got to play in. Even though we lost 15-12, so super close game, could have gone either way. But it was and the thing I liked about Stephanie and Mark is they also switch sides. Like they'll throw in a stack once in a while if they notice something, but it's very similar to me and Irene. Like Mark doesn't take a bunch of the court. Like he'll come over and poach once in a while for a dink, but same thing. Like they trust each other on the sides. Like they're both insanely good players and stuff like that. Gotcha. And then, like I said, I was telling Vic this off camera, but Stephanie almost does like a ping pong pen hold on her paddle, and she's a lefty too. So not only do you have an awkward hold for when she's doing her backhand dinks, but then she's also a lefty coming from the opposite side. Now I play against a lot of lefties because we have quite a few in our club here in Peace River, but it was just a different dynamic, right? But really good game. Yeah, so we lost them 15-12, and then they went on to end up getting the silver medal. So basically finished in like 5th or 4th or whatever you want to call that kind of spot on the B side there. So was happy with that game, wasn't happy with our first game, and then losing that first game just made it harder on us, right?
Yeah,
so it
because
was just one of those.
When you lose the first game's always an uphill battle, right?
Yeah, right. So finished with we finished the tournament with Irene with a silver and a bronze in her women's doubles, me with a gold in my men's singles. Would have liked to get a mixed medal in there, but finished 4th on the round robin one, so just as close as you can get without getting a medal. So overall happy, but I know what we need to work on, and I know I have to work on if I'm going to continue to play singles and continue to run myself the way I did in singles, I need to get back on the treadmill and get my cardio back up.
Yeah, the cardio is so important in singles right now. Like used to be easier, but well, I'm not saying singles is easy, but you like when the power paddle was not there at that point, it's kind of easier. But now with like the grid, with the technology of the paddle, with the amount of tennis player that came in, the way they can place it now, you're running so much. You're running so much more. Like I was playing, it was funny because I actually I'll go back to this. The way I was beating a lot of the tennis guys is I was forcing them to come up to the net. Oh yeah, that's because
I was staying remotely back, but then I was doing I would do a deep return to the back end, see where they put it, might do another deep return again, but then I was doing a drop cross court, making them run, and they'd bump it over, and then I would cross stick again, making them run side to side. And a lot of times, or like I would look like I'm going cross, they'd start to move, and then I'd go down the line, right? Like that's how I was beating them with precision and patience. But then also the fact that I was just running for everything. Like I don't think not very often did they have a shot where I didn't get a paddle on the ball at least. Like I might not have put it in, but basically there was a couple times where I caught a few guys where I didn't think you were getting that, and it was just, and also the ability to switch to my left and be able to actually get a forehand pull cross from what you were thinking is going to be a backhand shot also helped me a bunch too, right? But
oh yeah, definitely that adds to your reach, right? Because having to be able to switch hands, right, that helps a lot.
Exactly. So yeah, so all in all, happy with our performance. We know we could have done better.
That's a definitely good showing. Obviously, not like you. Definitely in your mind, you always say I should have done better, but it's all that's
a good thing though, to have that competitive mindset. That's unless I get golds across the board, I'm not saying I'm
at the same time I see that bottle that you have in your champion behind. If people looking on the YouTube stream or the video stream, there you go, the champion.
So I'll hold this up to the camera right now for those of you who are watching the video. So this tumbler here, this was donated to all the winners, just the gold medalists for by Pickleball Manitoba. So it's got the national crest with like the MiLP National Championship, but then underneath it goes 2025 National, and it says champion. It doesn't say championships, it says champion. So only the gold medal winners got this tumbler. So that was awesome. I really liked that when they showed when they handed you a box and said, "Oh yeah, you get this tumbler." I'm like, "Oh cool." Was it going to say 2025 National Championship on it, right? And then I open it up and I look at it, I'm like, "Oh, it says champ." Oh, I said, "Okay, that's cool, right?" Like
that's a good bragging rights, and that's I would expect some tournaments to do. Like that's a good gift to the champions to have as a memorabilia, right?
Exactly. Yeah, like the medal, the medals were nice too. Like the medal is like basically the crest, and I actually like they actually engraved the division and stuff that you were in on the back. Nice. Whereas I know the previous
some of them just a plastic.
It's just a little
like
sticker,
right? Yeah, it's a sticker.
But So
the national always did good on how they give the medals, but I just feel like this year's not too bad. You got a bag. You got if you're looking at the video right now, Andrew has the bag with you can put a paddle and shoes, and then got a pretty decent sized towel in there and stuff like that. It's not too bad as a swag for player, but at the same time you're should be done. It's good they did that for the players, but at the same time you should also focus a little bit more on the players and the viewing experience.
Yeah, and we're going to get into that right now because we're going to go back to the team event now. So on one side, the team event, massive success players wise, right? So if for those of you who weren't aware, they did a team event where you had open, so the open division, so you had a men's team, a women's team, a mixed team, both men's and women's singles for each province, and then you had the senior version of that, or they called it the Masters for each province. So we had 6 provinces take part. You had BC, Alberta, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, and Saskatchewan compete, right? So what it was is so say for example, if we say singles, so the women's singles, the female from the women's, and if you're saying open, would play the other single females from each province. And what you did is you got points. So, and we discussed this on the last podcast where you got 2 points for a win. In a loss, if you got more than half the amount of possible points, you'd get 1 point, right? And then what they do is they tallied it all up, and the team that had the most points at the end won, and that was combined of open and masters, right? So they did round robin first, where everyone played everyone, and then after the round robin, they had first and second play for gold, third and fourth play for bronze. So Saskatchewan and Quebec basically tied for fifth. They actually had the same amount of points over that, so they just said, okay, both of you get fifth.
Well, and I think the reason Quebec also got fifth, they didn't put any the higher level players in there. Ernesto was not there.
We're gonna get into that. Don't worry, we're gonna get into that because there's some. We'll get into that at the end there. So it ended up being.
I was a little annoyed when I saw the Quebec team.
Yeah. So we'll get into that. So we don't know because for that side I don't know as much about the reasonings for it, but. So the finals ended up being BC versus Ontario. BC getting the gold, so congratulations to Team BC. Congratulations Ontario for the silver. Then it was Manitoba versus Alberta for the bronze, and Manitoba won by 2 points.
Oh man!
For the bronze medal match. So shout out to Team Manitoba. Shout out to our Team Alberta who played very, very well. So we'll get into the analysts of the teams first, and then we're going to get into the one big negative thing about this event. Like we've already talked about the facility, so the same stuff applied for the facility, for the team stuff as it did for all the other stuff. So the congratulations to Team BC for assembling pretty much the best possible roster that you could have possibly assembled.
They're by far the strongest team.
Yeah, right. So you had Armand and Kaylin, you had McConnor Dye, you had Michael McCaffrey, you had Tracy Bennett, you had Pam Clark. You had so many insanely good players on this team, right? Same thing Ontario. You had the Kawamotos, you had a bunch of other you had all of the Kawamotos, not just Matt and Josephine, but Stephanie and Mark included, right? The entire Kawamoto clan. You had some other really good players there as well. Alberta, we had Kim Layton, we had Chris Allain, we had Connor Weeks, we had Jacob Shea, we had Anya, all that stuff. Then Manitoba had some of their best players too. The Manitoba team, it's funny because you look at the Manitoba team, you don't see a lot of what you would call pro level or pro players, like known names, but they have a lot of players who are consistently winning medals at national tournaments in like the 4 or 5 categories. So they were what you would call like the if you're saying like one team was like, you know how like when you do like graphs where someone's really good at one thing and someone's really not good at something else, they are like the most balanced across the board.
Yeah,
like
I feel, and I actually talked to I think Jacob about Jacob's mom about it. I think our Alberta team has a very good the pro team, and the master team seems a little bit.
I was going to get into this is what I'm going to get into now. So like Manitoba, what I would call the most consistent kind of across the board. Like everyone's like a really high 4-5 or like just becoming a 5-0. So like they can hold their own with anyone. Like there's no like really lopsidedness to that team Manitoba, right? Now BC, so the advantage is we'll go with our team. So our out team Alberta. So obviously we didn't have Brad Chapman there because he wasn't available. Because originally he was named to the team. Yeah, it wasn't there. But our open team on one hand was really, really good regardless. Like we had Kim and Mikkel as our women's team. You had Chris and Connor as our men's. You had Jacob and Shay as our mix. And then you had Anya as our singles. And then you had Irene as the alternate who could sub in for anyone if need be. Now, there was one point Anya almost got Irene to sub in singles, but Irene managed to help her get refocused to finish her matches off, right?
Gotcha.
Our biggest issue for Team Alberta, and this isn't a shot. It's funny because I'm trying to say this without it sounding like a shot to the players who did represent Team Alberta for our senior, but what our seniors lack is the experience of playing high-level pickleball that the other seniors, especially BC and Ontario, are playing. Because if you look at BC and Ontario's senior players, they're all playing open still, not senior open. They're playing open. Right, like if you just here's a perfect example. Tracy Bennett, even though she's technically at the age category of Masters, she played on the open team for Team BC. Then you had Margit and Maggie playing in the seniors. They both played at the BC provincials in the open divisions. They didn't play senior. They played open divisions against Armand, or against like Kaylin, against Michael McCaffrey, like against these pro players. Same thing with the Ontario senior players. They all play open. They don't play senior open. They play open against current high-level players. So they're playing at such a higher level than when you play senior. And this is, like, once again, not a shot, and I'm not trying to be ageist. There is a difference.
Yeah, it's a difference between an open to a 4-5 or 4-0. And
exactly, right?
It shows right away.
And honestly, Alberta should have done a better job at recruiting our players. Guy Wright was there. He won bronze in the men's he's
senior
50,
open. He's 50 plus. Like why don't you
why wasn't he on our 50 plus team? Was it did we not reach out to him? Did like I wasn't on the player selection committee, so I don't know, but like the fact that he was already there playing in nationals and he was there for the full week.
Yeah, he should be
on the team. Medaling, like he should be on the team.
Yeah, guy's a very
he's an insanely good player. I love Guy.
Guy is a very, very good player out here in Edmonton area. He's not very Edmonton area. He's Spruce Grove area, but he's another very good players in the 50 plus category. He used to play a lot of open too at some time, but now obviously with the ages he's going to the 50 plus category, but he can still hold his own very easily.
Exactly, right. So, and that was the big difference for BC and Ontario is their master players are still playing at that open level. Yeah. And that's a big jump. That's a big gap.
Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah, and that's what I heard also from Jacob's mom Corny. He said like the Alberta team seems to play very well. Unfortunately, on this master side, the senior side, couldn't get enough points to offset the difference, and that was a bummer.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it's like, and still fourth place, very, very good. But that was with sending not what I would consider our ideal roster.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think next year for nationals, if national, because to me it was a success, but it could have been way more of a
They
success.
should just should have me and you on the committee. That's all. That's what it means. That's what it means. You see that? You see that? Like even pick the Team Canada team. They pick us. You see that?
Yeah.
Pickleball Alberta. You're listening. You know what's going on, right? We're picking the right person.
Exactly right. But no, yeah. And so this is the thing that I like that I noticed, that you could tell which provinces went with, okay, we're just throwing whoever signs up. That's kind of who we're picking, or we're picking our buddies. We're not going out and actively recruiting anyone. BC clearly went out and actively said, okay, who's our best players available? Who's going? Okay, oh, you're going. Like the fact that McConnor Dye was on that team tells you that they were paying attention.
Oh, big time.
Right. That kid is unbelievable.
He's
right.
Super.
If he's not picked in next year's CMPL draft, I'm walking up to every owner and slapping them across the face. Like, what the hell are you guys doing? This kid just won gold at national singles.
Oh yeah, he's so good.
And was medaling, and like he played with Keaton in the first week because Michael McCaffrey wasn't there yet, and they got bronze. Like, and this is not a shot at Keaton, but Keaton's about your and my level, Vic.
I know,
right? Like so the fact that he can take someone about our level and still get bronze competing against other pro players.
Keaton told me like McConnor carry him.
Exactly. Well, and that's what I said. Like I said, man, if I would have played with Connor, I said, yeah, Connor, I'll take 20%. Go ahead, and you cook. I'll do what I need to do to help you, but you go ahead and cook, right? And this kid is so level-headed too. Like he's got the mental fortitude stuff already down for 15 years old. It's amazing.
Definitely.
Right. But like the fact that he's already on Team BC, that they were like, no, this kid is performing at all these high levels. Yes, he's going to be our singles player for the Open. Right. So like you could tell, like Alberta, you could tell.
The good thing is like we were starting to pick up good talents like Jacob. Like good shout out to Jacob. He at the Open category, he actually technically beat everyone once at least. Every team was, including Ernesto and Matthew Kawamoto. Obviously, because they came from the B side, they lost at the tiebreaker. But shout out to him and his partner Bradley. They did an insane good job in having that very good showing, and it shows that. Like we need to look at those younger talents as coming in, like Jacob, like McConnor. Those we need those next generation. Those next generation will shape our pickleball sport. And unfortunately, some of the province did not do their job.
No, yeah. Well, and like I said, they were. It was, you could tell which provinces treated it more as a this is a fun thing,
social event.
Whereas this is something we're going to try and win. And so now, so yeah, like we said, Alberta's Open team was actually almost as good as you could get. Like, there's a couple names there that weren't available, but like honestly, you can mix.
No, you can
sub in
like with the.
No, I was happy. Yeah, I was happy with the Open team too. Like I said, like with Brad Chapman not being available, and I think Joel Peltier wasn't available. That's literally the best team we could floor.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? I had no problem with that team whatsoever. But on our Masters side, there was one or two.
Needs work.
It needs work. Well, it's that, and we need some of them to be like, because there's a bunch of, and I know there's a few of them. Not necessarily on this team, but I know there's a few people who are just over 50 that realistically, I'm like, hey, don't play in the 50 plus. Come down and play in the 49 and under division and maintain your ability. Because I know you can. Because and these are players who like I've played against, and I'm like, I know you can still play that level. You don't need to go up and now just because you're going to win a medal at that 50 plus.
it's tough at the same time, right?
It's tough. It's tough because I understand wanting to go to a tournament and win.
I just want to go to a devil's advocate. I rather win sometimes than maintain my level. Especially I play like $400. I don't know.
Well,
that's me ranting.
No,
that's me ranting.
For nationals, it's one thing, but I'm talking about like when you're going to a tournament and only paying like 75 or whatever, right? But we have quite a few players who are just over 50, like I want to say sub 55 or just at 55, that realistically they are good enough to probably podium or at least fight for a podium spot in like a 49 and under category.
True.
Right. So, but that's where Alberta's right now behind BC and Ontario is like our senior players aren't playing at the same level as like BC and Ontario. Like those people are still all playing open category. Now,
that's for sure.
But
they have
also
more population.
They have more population. They have the advantage of there being more tournaments there and stuff like that, and a lot more tournaments that are closer.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
So, but that's the issue there. Now, if I want to get on Team Saskatchewan and Team Quebec, why? Like, so we'll start with Team Saskatchewan. There's no reason Anna Deshank. There's no reason why Anna Deshanko and Paul Clement shouldn't have been on that team.
Yeah, that's
apparently the reason was, and I heard this from the players. You had to have played at the Saskatchewan Provincials to be on that team. However, that was told after the Provincials was over. And Anna and Paul had gone down to the States and played in something else. But so they were technically ineligible. I'm like, I'm sorry, do you want to try and win or not? Exactly. The fact that you didn't pick your literally best female player in the province, who is now on Team Canada.
Oh yeah,
for pickleball. I'm sorry, you deserve to lose.
Oh yeah, big time.
Right, and then for Quebec, I don't know the reasoning why Ernesto didn't
Quebec's
play for.
Even worse.
Quebec's but I don't know why he didn't play for Quebec. I didn't ask. I which is funny because I talked to Ernesto actually a fair bit and his mom Mary, while I was there. But I was like, I forgot to ask about it. I was like, so I don't know why Ernesto wasn't on Team Quebec. I don't know why I don't know if it was a political thing or they just didn't ask, or maybe he didn't want to because of who else was on the team or whatever. I don't know that, but the fact that you have literally probably who we would consider, if not number one, the top one, a guy in the top three conversation for best player in Canada, not playing.
Just think about it. He won the four.
He won everything.
Plus,
he won everything except for singles.
But he didn't play singles too.
Yeah, no, but that's what I mean. Like he won everything except for singles.
Yeah, exactly. He won every goal in singles. Like there's no way you're not putting him in the team.
Yeah, and same thing. Like Anna podiumed at almost everything.
Same, exactly. There's no way you're not putting them.
Like
there.
It doesn't make sense. But this is what I'm talking about. I'm hoping because of how well and how competitive this event got.
Yeah, maybe next year
the provinces will now ahead of time be like, okay, let's go out and recruit our best possible players.
Oh, definitely. They need to.
Now, that being said, this is my final gripe with nationals. Aside from like the other non-fan friendly thing.
I knew already.
You did not show any of this. There was no stream. There was nothing.
Nothing.
A news reporting team came to the team event and took some footage.
Yeah, but that's it.
But guess what? By the time that airs, the event's over.
It's too late already.
But nothing was broadcasted. And the other problem was if you did manage to find somewhat of a decent seating, they had everything spread out over the whole facility. Like there was Team Alberta playing on court 16. Then there was a Team Alberta team playing on court 32 on the other side. Like if you had, say, for example, for round robin, you did Ontario versus Alberta. Pick one side of the facility, that entire stretch of courts, that's all Team Alberta versus Team Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
Other side, that's all BC versus Saskatchewan. Other side, that's all Quebec versus Manitoba, whatever. But keep it all together so you can watch.
Yeah.
So that's the in-court issue. The off-court issue is you didn't broadcast anything. This was literally the first time ever in Canada that we had a province v. province team event, and you didn't broadcast it. What the hell?
Well, it's not just
like seriously.
Not just this. none of the like you said, none of the matches broadcast, and this is national. Like it has been broadcast in it. There's broadcast almost every national. Why
at least one or two courts. Like they had okay. These are our two kind of championship
you don't
courts.
Need to broadcast all the 60 whatever 30 plus court. It's fine. Like at least get the championship, the number 1, number 2 court, the championship court. Like come on, do something.
But I'm like, this is like you had like that. Like talking to the players who competed in it, it was an amazing games, amazing event.
Yeah.
No one saw it though.
No.
Right? Like that is the biggest fumble. You had such an opportunity to you're talking about finding good sponsors. If that was broadcasted,
that would be
anywhere.
Easy.
God, put it on Game Plus. I don't give a crap because I know we have our gripes with Game Plus not being available for everyone for CMPL, but even on there at bare minimum, people are going to be able to see it.
It doesn't need to. You just need to stick a freaking camera and put it on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly, right? But I was just like there was nothing available to there was no a way to watch it. There's no even so that's just the team one, not to mention all the amazing games that were in the Open, all the amazing games that were in 4-5. Even the 4-0, 3-5s and 3-0s had some amazing matches. None of them had the opportunity to get broadcasted and no one got to see them.
Just put more stab in the wound. I was not able to find anything, but the only thing I was able to watch something that was in Canada, that was the MiLP in Montreal, because Emily was broadcasting.
Yeah, she was like live streaming from her phone. Exactly, right? But I'm just like
I'm just putting even more stuff into
right. But I'm like,
oh man,
I'm like, good
Jesus.
God, like
someone like Emily that's running a smaller tournament, MiLP in Montreal, are able to broadcast something. And that a big tournament like that in national, you cannot broadcast something. That's shameful.
It was horrible. Like that should have been one. That's one of the first things you have to have set up. You don't need commentary for that. Just have the camera running, and have a running
easy
score. Like it's not. This isn't rocket science.
No, you don't even need to run run the score.
Well, and
if
the fact that
you can.
On every championship court, they had the ref with a mic. So it was coming through the speakers.
Oh, easy.
As long as you had some type of mic within the area, you would have been able to hear what the score was.
That would be so easy. Oh,
right.
Man.
But it was just like, oh my God. So
anyway.
So yeah, it was frustrating to that because I was like, I remember my dad messaging me. It's like, oh, what court are you on? Well, I'm on this court. Is that one being broadcast? I'm like, nothing's being broadcast. He's like, what? He's like, I've watched you play at the last 2 times you've gone to nationals or a Western regionals because they've been broadcasting it. And you ended up on championship court. I'm like, yeah, nothing's on.
That definitely frustrating.
That is the biggest fumble. That is inexcusable. I can take
big time.
Honestly, as someone who played in the event, I can take the tape shit. I can take the narrow courts. Yes, those are issues in their own thing and still not what you would call acceptable for a national event, but I can live with that. But the fact that the whole point is we're trying to grow this game, and that was a big part of the speeches that were held at the social on that Thursday night after the team event was, we're growing the game. We're going after the Minister of Sports, Adam Van Couverdin or whatever, to get more funding, to get this, to show them how growth is. I'm like, you know what would have helped? A goddamn video on YouTube showing the team event.
Oh, big time. It's not difficult anymore.
You could have just sent him the damn link. It's like, hey, look at this. Look at these amazing games and this amazing show of not just national pride, but also provincial pride from these players representing their province in this event. As someone who's represented provinces for a regionals or a national event in other sports, you have pride when you put on that team shirt.
Oh, definitely.
Right? It's you want to do better because you're representing a bigger group of people.
Oh yeah.
Right? It was such a layup and they fumbled it.
Big time.
So as much as I enjoyed nationals, as much as I enjoyed seeing and talking to all the pro players. Oh, and shout out to Ernesto's mom, Mary Vic. Because I knew you were sick, I didn't swing by your house, but
Oh,
I have a present for you and May and the baby from
oh my
Ernesto's mom,
God.
Mary.
Oh, thank you so much, Ernesto and Mary. Much
So yeah,
much appreciated.
yeah, so yeah, Mary, I'm gonna give it to Vic. Don't you worry. I didn't swing by his house because I knew he was sick. So, and I didn't want
Yeah,
to get sick before because I
no, you
had
don't
to.
want to get.
I had to work. I had to work the Tuesday. So I got home at like 1 in the morning, and I had to work at 7
Yeah,
a.m.
you don't want to come to
on
my
the
house
Tuesday morning.
at this point
Yeah.
until that new influenza variant 2.0 is
Yeah.
over.
But but yeah, I have that there. Worst case scenario, I get it to Vic when we run our MLP event,
Yeah, that's
or
fine. No,
MILP
no.
event. But yeah, so that is like I had such a good time there with games. I got to talk to so many amazing players and amazing people. Like I said, had really good conversations with a bunch of the pros and stuff. In fact, I ran into the pros a bunch of different times. Like we took the kids to Rec Room one night, and all the
Oh yeah,
pros
they're
were
playing
there,
over there.
playing and stuff like
Christina's
that. So,
trying to get a sponsorship from Rec Room or something like that.
geez, I could use a sponsorship from Rec Room. I did take I did take a picture with Christina, Ernesto, and Haley. I don't think Christina ended up using it in her little shots there. But yeah, so like had good conversations with everyone there. Awesome event. There was one or two refs that were a little annoying. There's one guy who has like a yellow hat and he's kind of a dick. But
Oh, yellow hat or orange hat?
it's like a yellow hat. He's like a little bit. He's about my height or a little bit taller. He's an older gentleman, but
is a white shirt?
Yeah, it's a white shirt.
Okay, he might be the.
We don't need to drop name. I've seen him at other Canadian national events. So
yellow means he's head referee.
Oh God, if he's the head referee, that's horrible because he was a douche. Well, because when they would ask about the paddle check thing,
yeah.
So you know how you just say yes, it's passed.
Yeah.
So he said to one of the players, "Oh, do you have a screenshot?"
Oh,
no.
Interesting.
No, because I know I checked it. Well, if you don't provide a screenshot next time, you're forfeiting the match.
That's weird. That's not supposed to be unless you you are really unsure that paddle.
And it was honestly Anna Dashenko and her owl paddle.
Yeah, everyone knows that paddle. Come on.
Like I had someone had to double take at mine because I know Anivia is not as known. Now they are seeing, especially, but it's funny because then there was another ref from BC and she's like, oh, I see this paddle all the time, right? Because Anivia is a lot bigger in the Vancouver area because
exactly, they know,
right? But it was just like so aside from that, there was one or two refs that were a little bit kind of meh. But other than that, the refs were really good.
I want to counter by saying it's also a reason because there is so many counterfeit paddle right now. It's very difficult in the referee perspective to know exactly, okay, this is a legal paddle and a legal paddle. I think the USAP did a good job to provide the referee a good guideline. Okay, this is how you look for paddle, and this is how you know what is a legal paddle, or illegal paddle. There's no guideline. We are like in Alberta, they're lucky to have me as one of the paddle expert to know right away. This is a legal paddle. This is not a legal paddle. This is a questionable paddle. This is not a questionable, because I am into the. I'm following the pickleball market very closely, but not a lot of those referee are, unfortunately. So I can understand.
I can understand, but that should have been sent out in an email saying, "Hey, we're going to be asking about the paddles. Please take a screenshot and be able to provide it if needed."
Yeah, it could be better communication.
Simple email from the ordinators out like that, then that wouldn't have even been an issue. Yeah, I got it on my phone right here because I was like, oh yeah, it's passed. And and when I did singles, I brought out both the Fusion and that because I was debating on switching between the two, right? And once I saw what the other guys were playing as, that's why I stayed with my Voltex because I'm beating them with precision. I don't need power right now, so I'm gonna let the Fusion kind of just sit in the bag.
And right? In some way, I didn't want to push shade on it, but at the same time, think about I obviously this week I didn't went to the 55 plus Alberta in Leduc, but my mom did. Well, there is so many illegal paddle. Like the mod is there, right?
Yeah.
The Yola mod is there, and all the other knockoff Yola whatever are there. It's not a sanctioned tournament. They can use whatever crap they want. So you're like, then how are you gonna control that? So right. So if you have a sanctioned event, at least there is some sort of enforcement that can be done. Versus when you're playing in an unsanctioned tournament, I can pull out my diadem vice right here. That's gonna bazooka everyone from the baseline.
Yeah.
And I could win every tournament with that thing, but that does it mean I'm good? No, I just have a illegal paddle that I'm bazookaing everyone.
Yeah, exactly. But so for me the biggest fumble was not being a fan or family friendly event due to you not being able to handle the amount of people that's in there. Right, because like I said, not being able to be on the sidelines for to watch Irene or to record or anything like that. Like I said after, I was like, why did I bring the kids? They're stuck up in that fan zone where they can't watch it, where they can't see us.
That's very tough. That's
like that was annoying. Like I said I would have been better off letting them stay with my parents for the week. And me and Irene just going, and even then I would have been up there in that fan zone stewing the whole time because Irene's playing on like court 16, so she's literally 8 courts down
in the middle
from the fan, and I'm sitting there like, but you'll like I'll send you the pictures after, Vic. But for those of you,
I know right away because I did have the screenshot of the facility, so I know kind of how it looks like. Every tennis facility is looking at almost the same anyway. So you know exactly what you're looking. And if you're the middle, like 16, so it means you're in the middle of all the courts. Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so like when I mentioned it the first time, I'll have the picture up on our drop there for those of you who are watching on the YouTube or on the video version of Spotify. But yeah, so I think that's about it for nationals. They haven't announced where next year's is going to be yet, so we'll be waiting.
Hopefully in a real pickleball facility, please.
Hopefully, yeah. Well, right now,
if they want to grow the sport, you need to run it in a proper pickleball facility, or at least you're gonna need to like real size championship court, especially for the pros, especially for the pro or the showcase. If you don't do that, I'm sorry, it's just another tournament.
Yeah, exactly right. So like honestly, until something big opens up, I'd be fine with them going back to Regina.
Yeah, Regina,
to be honest,
or whatever, Braze. That's unlikely.
Braze doesn't have enough courts, so that's the problem. It's only 20-something courts.
Well, they can open up the other side, the volleyball side, if they need to.
Well, and have some just on the hardwood, I guess. Yeah.
Right. So it's not big.
Yeah, because realistically, you'd only need, because if they had 31 there, so you already have
you only need 10 more courts, so which is not that much.
So that's not bad. That's doable.
It's definitely makeable. Or the parking lot behind it. They have plenty of parking lot behind.
Yeah, true.
Right, it's easy.
Yeah, because I know Spruce Grove isn't going to be built in time, and then majority of that is outside anyways.
Well, it's going to be done by July, unfortunately. So, which is not there yet, and they don't want to combine facility even though you have like basically 3 or 4 facility in the vicinity of.
Well, it's because they want to have it as a central location where a 3.0 can go watch an open player play without having to get in a car and drive.
Yeah, I know.
Right. But anyway, right now we don't have a facility like that can host. But yeah, we've talked about that enough. So let's move on to some really positive news. So we have the roster for Team Canada for the Pickleball World Cup in Fort Lauderdale in Florida on October 27th to November 2nd. So shout out to all the players. We are going to run through them. And the fun thing was, Vic, is that this was almost verbatim the list that we sent in pretty close.
We know it's going to be pretty close to that.
Yeah, well, because and not to toot our own horn, but we know we especially on the open side, we knew the players very, very well. So like I figured this was the lineup we were going to get, but but yeah, and like I can't you with who got picked, I can't argue with this lineup at all. So,
No,
all right.
definitely.
So for the open team, for the males, we have Kyle Hermetz from Mississauga, Ontario. So 2-year pro. He's currently playing on the Southwestern Ontario Brewers. Very, very good player, very athletic. He's got some really good drives. No surprise there. Congrats,
Oh yeah,
Kyle.
definitely a good pick.
Then you got Mikel Gamond from Rockland, Ontario. Same thing, 2-year pro in the CMPL, currently playing on the Pronghorns.
Which he has a very good showing at the last
Yeah,
Western split.
exactly. Very, very good defensively. Very, very good counter puncher. Also very, very good in singles. That was one of the big things he showcased with the Pronghorns at the last event was his ability to perform well in the singles part. So congrats to Mikel. Kalen Sampson from Langley, BC. This year, first-year pro on the Vancouver Owls. The combination of him and Armand on the Owls has been insane. Also, Kalen actually played for Canada last year at the Pickleball World Cup. Did get sick on the second day. But so Kalen, you're in Florida this time, Kalen, but stay away from any type of shrimp or anything like that.
I think he
you're
should
playing.
be fine. I think he should be fine. It's because last time was Peru, and things can get a little bit dicey.
When you're not, and as someone who has visited like Philippines and stuff like that for family, when you're not from that country and you're not used to certain things, you have to be very careful with eating local food.
Yeah, definitely.
Just because certain things like microorganisms and stuff that's in the food that locals don't have any issue with can mess up your system.
Yeah, Fort Lauderdale should be fine.
Yeah, Fort Lauderdale should be fine. Yeah. And then, of course, we got Michael McCaffrey from Surrey, BC. He played on the Pronghorns last year, pro. He's also been working with, if you watch any of his Instagram, he's constantly working with the other pro players. Connor Dye, Kalen's, exactly. Armand. McCaffrey's an excellent player, so no surprise there. Then we have Chris Allain from Calgary, Alberta, 3-year pro in the CMPL. This year he's on the Pronghorns. Another really good singles player, really good drives, really good athletic player. Also very a really good hype man for whatever team he's on. So all of those players right there just on the men's, insanely good picks. Can't really ask for a better team than that with the restrictions that were put on for stuff like that. So that's an insanely good team there.
Definitely very good showing team. I would expect we will do very well with this team, this men's lineup. Definitely.
And then for females, so no surprise here, honestly, for any of these picks. We got Anna Deshenko from Regina, Saskatchewan. This year, a pro player on the Owls. It's her first time playing in the CMPL, but honestly, she should have been playing the last couple years, but she didn't come and try out. Anna's an insanely good player, just played insanely well at nationals. And then, of course, she's got the built-in chemistry with Kalen as they play on the Owls together as a mixed pair. So, look for that being a possible lineup that the coaches go with. Jada Buey from Pickering, Ontario, current player right now on Toronto United, has gone down to PPA Challenger, right, Vic, and won gold in singles.
Yeah, in single, and she's actually currently picked in one of the Florida. There is some sort of a team, like a local team event in Florida. She's actually now picked as their roster. So
nice, perfect.
Congrats to her. So definitely means that she's actually up to that standard.
Yeah, exactly. And she's been playing well in the CMPL this year, especially coming from a pro tennis background. Yeah. Then we got Tara Di from Toronto, Ontario. So a second-year pro in the CMPL, currently playing on the Brewers this year. Another really good player, very good at singles as well, and a very good, I find, complementary player in mix. Like she does well at setting up her male cohort and stuff like that. Yeah. So congrats to Tara as well. Then we got Carolina Hack. Honestly, it wouldn't really be a team without Carolina being out. Carolina is also coaching the junior team. Yeah, as a part of this. So Carolina's going to have her hands full playing and also coaching. 3rd-year pro in the CNPL, was part of the championship winning Toronto United the first year. This year she's on the Pronghorns. Insanely good player. Brings that fire. And then to round it out, we got Casey Rogers from Kamloops, BC. Isn't playing in the CMPL this year, but played the last 2 years in the CMPL. This year, I think it was just a little bit of a time commitment thing, but also insanely good player. Also played for Team Canada last year in the World Cup with Galen, so she's got that experience as well. And also, her and Anna have played together on various occasions. Most recently, the women's Pickleball Challenge. I got the shirt up here for those of you looking on there that Irene competed in. Her and Anna actually won the whole event where it was Canada versus the USA. So,
yeah, Casey, very good power female player. I think I did I refer in the Western Regionals in last year BC, but I may have ref, but anyway, she's definitely a very talented player.
Absolutely. So that's our open team there. Congratulations to all those players. We will be cheering you guys on. I wish we could be there in person. But between Vic having a baby and me just getting back from a family vacation that I had booked 2 years ago, it's going to be unfortunate, but hopefully it's being live streamed. And if it's live streamed and I'm not working, everyone, I'm going to announce this right now. I'm planning on doing a watch along. Maybe I'll do like Instagram live where you're seeing me react, and then we can all just watch hopefully a YouTube stream of the event. So we're going to keep an eye on when it's getting streamed. And like I said, if I'm off work, I'm going to be kind of sitting in this chair watching it on my computer screen, and then you can watch me react and totally lose my shit if we pull off a medal. Then we got our 50+ team. So first on the men's side, we have Eric A. Yoon, who's also going to be coaching. I'm assuming he's coaching the Open team. So shout out to Eric. He resides in Florida in the U.S. right now, but playing high-level pickleball down there all the time. And the fact that he's such a sought-after coach for a lot of people tells you how his knowledge and how well versed in pickleball he is. Yeah. So shout out to Eric. We got Corey Osborne from Vale, Ontario. He's played 3 straight years in the CMPL. This year on the Smash. Kind of as a player coach, and we've watched Corey play. Corey's an insanely good player.
Yeah, he is a no-brainer, definitely.
Yeah, that was a no-brainer. Same, and this next one was a no-brainer too. Rob Krismanich from Toronto, Ontario. He played year 1 in the CMPL actually with Corey, so him and Corey have that built-in chemistry. Nice. He medaled last year in the U.S. Nationals. In some of the higher up categories, so he's been down playing a bunch of high level pickleball in the States, so that was no surprise there. And then the final male, Robin, and I apologize, Robin, if I say your last name wrong. Debrio.
That's close. I think it's close enough.
Yeah, from Port Coquitlam, BC. He's been he actually just medaled at nationals. Him and his wife medaled in mix, and then he got gold in men's in the senior. He also, when he played in the BC Provincials, he played with Armand in the men's open category.
Nice.
So if Armand's using him as a partner, you know he's a good player because Armand just won't play with anybody.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So shout out to all those players. That's a really good lineup for our men's 50+. For the female side, we have Margit Ardma. I apologize, Margit. I've only ever called you by your first name when I meet you in person, so I apologize if I butchered your last name there. From Coquitlam, BC, provincial champ in Open Division this year in BC, and a nationals champ this year at nationals. She also represented Team BC and played, I want to say, the singles for Team BC in the Masters Division and won. Like I think she went 5-0 nice. in the team event. So shout out to Margit, insanely good player. Irene has played with her a couple times when we've gone down for the CMPL qualifiers in Vernon. I played against her a couple times. Very, very good player. Insanely good drives. Then we have Nancy Guyon. Is that how you say that, Vic?
Goujon.
Goujon?
Goujon.
From
that's French
pronunciation. It's French, and I'm sometimes I'm good with French names, sometimes I'm horrible with French names, so I apologize to Nancy there. She's been playing super high level pickleball in Quebec, and she's gone down to the States a couple times too, right, Vic, and play?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, and performed really well down there. So shout out to Nancy. Jose Patnaud, I think.
Yeah, that's good. Close enough. Yeah.
She's living in the U.S. right now, but same thing, playing high level seniors in the States. So very good pick there. And then we have Maggie Murch from North Vancouver, BC. Same thing, just like Margit, plays in the open levels in BC. She got bronze at the Nationals this year in the Women's Senior Open. Her and Margit actually play together a bunch in BC as well. Actually, for those of you who don't know, at the CNPL qualifiers in Vernon, Maggie and Margit played with Kayland and Armand as a team at the CNPL qualifiers, and they came in second.
There you
go.
So
these are two 50-plus ladies who are playing. Oh, and like we said when we were talking about the Nationals thing before, playing open category as 50-plus players against all these younger pro level players, right? So, honestly, Vic, looking at this, I really like our team's chances at a possible podium or possible like top 5 finish.
It's definitely
to be honest. It's looking really good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, Yui, make sure you send us our shirts in time for me to wear while we're watching.
That'll be fun. It'll be fun. We'll see if I can make it happen to go. But anyway, we'll see when the baby
You're going to be
up.
busy with baby. I don't think so, Vic. But
yeah, and I don't think if my wife's going to let me go.
Yeah,
she's probably at the back slapping me already. Whatever.
But we're super excited for this team here. Know you guys are going to do it proud. And so I have one little gripe. I'm not going to say who said this to me, but so me and Vic were on the selection committee. We had over 80 applicants for this team. So shout out to everyone who put their name in, first of all. The restrictions on this were you had to be 5'5" or less duper. Right. So obviously, for those of you wondering, why isn't Ernesto on this team? Why isn't Brad Chapman on this team? Why isn't Kim Layton on this team? They are all like 5'7", 5'6", 5'9" type players. So they're not available. Same thing with like Armand. Armand, I want to say, is like a 5'7". McConnor Dye is like a 5'7" at this point as well, right? So
let's check their duper. While
you're
so talking.
That's the one stipulation with that. Now, these are, like we said, these players are insanely good. I think Anna's duper only says like a 5.3. Realistically, Anna is like a 5.6. It's just not enough games played yet to bump that duper up where it probably should be, right? But someone once said, so that's to talk about that. Someone was surprised.
5.6.
Yeah.
There we go.
Right. So that makes them ineligible at 5.6. So, someone said to me they were surprised at how many applicants we got when we had 80 applicants. And I said, well, if that restriction wasn't there, you would have gotten way more. And also because this is still MiLP's first year in Canada. It's the first time really doing this recruiting process for Team Canada for the World Cup. I said, I said, you're going to get over 100 next year.
Oh, big time.
Right. And they said, really? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it's to represent Canada on the world stage. And they said, yeah, but it's just a made up tournament. And I'm going to steal a line here from Adam Wilde. For those of you who don't know who Adam Wilde is, he's a member of the SDP podcast, which is more of a hockey podcast that covers the Leafs with Steve Dangle. But he did this quote when he was talking about the Four Nation face-off that the NHL did for the All-Star game and in place of the All-Star game this year. He goes, when you put that jersey on with that maple leaf crest on the front of it, it matters.
Yes.
And what I said in this message was, as someone who's played high-level sports his whole life. So I've represented Newfoundland in softball on the national scale. Like I used to be a catcher for the Newfoundland national team. I've played in high-level provincial tournaments for basketball. I've played in high-level tournaments for volleyball and so on. And now, like, I've played at nationals and pickleball and stuff like that, right? As someone who's grown up as a high-level athlete in Canada, now obviously hockey is the main thing here in Canada. So aside from, and I said this when I texted this person, I said, aside from winning the Stanley Cup, which not all of us can do because all of us aren't hockey players, but those of us who are hockey fans, and like we understand, like that is the dream. You know, Game 7, overtime, breakaway, score the game-winning goal, win the Stanley Cup type of the thing you dream about as a kid, like that you've mimicked in your backyard on that outdoor net. the next closest dream to that, or the next possible dream, especially for an athlete who say doesn't play hockey, is representing your country on the world stage in a sport, whether it's Olympics, whether it's
Team
Pan Am,
Canada on somewhere.
Making Team Canada on anything. Like, this is literally a dream for a lot of these players. Like, there's a lot of these players who probably never in their wildest dreams thought that they could represent Canada on this scale.
Definitely.
Right. So, and it's funny because I'm almost getting choked up talking about this. The fact that me and Vicky even got to be part of this is in some way kind of a dream wish fulfillment thing for me. Because I like
we're definitely blessed to be
like once I got to a certain age, I was like, okay, like it's now like a fantasy now. It's not a realistic thing anymore. Like, who knows? Me and Irene could still get good enough and possibly represent Canada in pickleball on another event. But right now, if the best I can do is be on a committee that selects the team that goes and represents this country, that is awesome. And to our Canadian players, wear that jersey with pride, represent the country well. If you need to, run your ass through the fence or the barrier or whatever it is to get that damn ball. But it's like you are all good enough. You've been selected for this team, but make sure you realize how much of a privilege it is.
Make us proud.
To represent this country and represent us well. Like I'm saying, I'm as much as I would love for a podium finish, as long as you guys are going out there giving it like the no quit 110% effort, that is all we are going to ask for. Obviously, like we said, it'd be awesome to come back with some type of podium finish. And I will, like I said, if I'm live streaming that, you will literally see me lose my shit on camera. If this team medals. But
it is already a privilege.
Bask in the awesomeness that this is going to be, that you are representing this country in a sport that you love to play, that not many people are going to be able to get to do, and understand that you have the back. I know it's just me and Vic talking right now, but you have the back of this nation behind you, cheering you guys on, and we hope nothing but the best for how well you guys can perform on this.
Oh yeah, big time. We're definitely behind you guys, big time.
Absolutely. All right. Do we have enough time, Vic, or do we need to cut to a second episode?
Let's cut to the second episode.
Okay.
We have too much stuff to talk.
So we're gonna end this one right here, guys. We are actually gonna record this next episode right away here, but there's been so much happening with news and with other stuff going on that this is going to be a two-part thing. This episode's going to come out this week that we're recording it now. So I want to say probably the Friday or the Thursday of this week. And then
just grab something to eat. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go ahead, Vic. So we'll see you guys in a bit, and don't forget to sign up for our MiLP event. And we will see you. The next episode is going to be right out next week, where we do a preview for the CMPL Metro Split coming up, and we talk about the new APP Global Tour. So head over to the link in the description below to sign up for MiLP at the Egg in Edmonton on September 27th and 28th. And we'll see you guys on the next episode.